Central Texas. Football's not just a game, but a way of life.
Tradition, legacy, loyalty.
It's game time, yeah, we on the way.
Where rivalries run deep and pride runs deeper. This isn't just high school football. This is Texas football. All grit, all in. Thomas J. Henry High School football. Live and streaming on KXAN+.
Get back in action. The game plan tonight gets plenty of points on the board. Get this thing out of hand a little bit. Get everybody in the game and get out of here injury-free. So right now, let's strike up that Westlake band, huh?
That's
strike
right.
it up. Let's get going. Let's kick this thing off. Should be interesting tonight, Joe.
Jim Knox, always good at what he does, that's for sure. We give you the starting lineups powered by HEB now, and of course our friends at Favor. Will Hesse, Marlo Frederick, the left and right tackle. The guards are Jackson Cook and Van Oaks. The center is Will Twardowski. At the receiving core, Jack Newhouse and Rhett Jenkins, along with Braden Riddell and Lawson Grimes. And in the backfield, joining senior quarterback Reese Wise, is Jaron Lopez and Sebastian Alt. Doing the kicking and the punting is Nolan Bartley. Defensively for the Westlake Chaparrals, up front, Colin McClune and Austin Knapp are the ends. The tackles are Maddox Flint and Alex Kahn. And of course, the linebackers, two new starters ahead of tonight's game. Rhett Henry getting his first career start, along with Carson Buchanan at linebacker. And in the defensive backfield, Colton Fuhr and Wiley Nichols are the corners. Ben Cabot and Hayes Broadhead, along with Eric Abraham, are the safeties. The Akins Eagles will start with J.R. Perez along with Jezre Machado, the guards. The tackles are Job Jones and Elijah Hernandez. The center is Noah Rodriguez. Noah Hall making his first start as a freshman. Of course, Brandon Buenrostro, the sophomore wide receiver. Caleb Walsh and Joseph Jojo Gonzalez round out the receiver and tight end position. Quarterback Jaden Tovar making his first start this season, along with running back Junior Carter in for an injured Dylan Cagle. Defensively, Jason Carrasco Rodriguez along with Jackson Strobel. They are the defensive ends. The nose guard and defensive tackle, Chris Herrard and Jaden Morales. The linebackers, Teo Gutierrez, Cruz Morales, and Dario Valadez. The corners, Devin McDonald and Sam Roque. And the safeties are Andrew Copeland and Nico Lutz. Lutz, the leading tackler, 17 total tackles, has an interception, a couple of fumble recoveries. For Akins, it has been a turnover city. They are actually coming into this game 5 games in, plus 13 in the turnover ratio. They have 12 interceptions, a couple of fumble recoveries. This is a team that has played very good football in the month of August and September. Now here into October, obviously things are going to be a little different now that district play has started, but hats off to Akins. 4-1, a better winning percentage coming into this game than Westlake.
That's kind of crazy, Joe. I mean, it's not something we're used to saying, but when you look at some of these scores from the non-district schedule, 48-0, 48-13, 56-0, you wonder how Akins is blowing teams out like that. That stat you just hit on, when you win turnover margin in a way that they've done so far this season, that's how you post big wins. But it's a different beast when you get into the meat of the district schedule.
And with that, we're off and running, and the kickoff will go out of the back of the end zone for Nolan Bartley. We take a look at the coin toss. This is actually pre-recorded from earlier, right before we took air. And of course, the captains met at midfield. Our referee, John Carter, right there with him. HEB Now, powered by Favor. Proud sponsors of our coin toss here on Thursday Night Football. We're underneath the Thursday night lights as we welcome all of you to our live broadcast on KBVO TV. Of course, on the radio as well. Part of the Odyssey Sports Network here in Austin, 95.5 HD2 and Talk 1370 on the AM side. And of course on NFHS, the national stream. We'll see the Akins offense first, led by Jaden Tovar. First carry will go to the outside, and it'll be Travis Garcia to get the carry. Garcia, the faster of the two. Hayes Broadhead making the tackle behind the line of scrimmage, and already the Akins Eagles go backwards towards the 19-yard line.
And Joe, you mentioned it in the starting lineups, but let's just reiterate this. Jaden Tovar, the Akins quarterback, making his first varsity start, filling in for Chris Gonzalez, who'd been so good so far this season, but it's Tovar who starts tonight, and it's a change at running back as well. So Akins not only without the head coach they had the first 4 weeks, they've got new guys starting in the backfield tonight, which obviously will be quite a test going up against Westlake in your first start.
Kind of looks like kind of a hybrid wing T scenario here, so you got to watch the ball and watch who gets it to the outside. They turn and hand it off. Just short running room there, not much to work with. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage, if that. And getting a chance to carry the ball is Caleb Walsh. He has his first carry of the season for Walsh as he comes in to try to turn the corner. It's good blocking up front there momentarily by Joe Jones, and then just kind of lost his block. It really kept Walsh from extending the play. So now 3rd and long as Westlake once again already has Akins in a 3rd and long scenario. 3rd down and 17.
And clearly, Joe, this is not the blueprint for Akins. They do not want to find themselves with a first-time starting quarterback in 3rd and long against Westlake.
Under center, they're going to run the ball, and immediately the running back, Junior Carter, the 5'9", 175-pound senior. And I'll tell you what, 175 is the scout weight. I was field level. Junior Carter is not 175 pounds. Look at this dude on the Howdy Honda replay. He is a big man, about 220 pounds, if that. And he goes down in a heap with a number of tacklers. So again, no gain on the play. And actually a loss of 1 officially. It'll be 4th down and 18 in punting time. Henry Ramirez comes in to punt, averaging about 32 yards per punt. He does have a long of 55, so he is able to turn one over at times. 2 men back deep to receive. Looking for a short field here for Westlake. Good punt, drives Riddell back. He actually touches it. This is a live ball at the 27-yard line. Reroutes to the 30, to the 35. Turns outside. Has a blocker to midfield. 45-40. Turns around. Makes a man miss at the 35. And rumbles his way down to the 31-yard line. Nice improvisation. Little jazz flute right there for Braden Riddell, as they will mark him down at the 32-yard line. What a run and what a recovery on that long punt.
Yeah, I was just going to say that one certainly didn't start out the way Westlake would have liked to have seen it, Joe, but Braden Riddell, credit to him for making something out of it. You know, the punt return game it's been a roller coaster at times this season for Westlake. I believe that's the first time we've seen 2 men back to field the punt, so maybe a new look for Westlake coming out of the bye, but against a different team, Joe, that could be dangerous. So I think Westlake's still trying to polish that side of the game.
6'3", 205-pound senior quarterback headed to Ole Miss next year. The turn, the handoff. No, they're going to throw it. And this one just out of the reach of Rhett Jenkins. Jenkins on the play action was open. The pass was high, incomplete. If it is there, most likely 6 for Rhett Jenkins. He was wide open.
Yeah, that ball, you'll see it on the replay here, just sailing a little bit on Reese Wise, because you're right, Joe. Jenkins was open. They had exactly what they wanted here.
That was an absolute bullet there. 2nd down and 10. 2 wide receivers each away from the right hash mark. Wise back to pass, looking tons of time. Fires a long pass cross field to his left. That pass caught by Newhouse for a 1st down to the 19-yard line inside the Raising Cane's red zone. They're going to actually mark him down right at the 20. So in the Raising Cane's red zone go the Chaparrals.
I like the game plan here from Westlake. Come out, throw, and see if you can get Reese Wise in a nice rhythm early. We know that when he does get going early, Joe, he tends to play better as the night goes along.
2 wide receivers to Reese's right, 1 to his left. A tight end, basically a hybrid to his left. In front of the formation, out of the shotgun. Wise looking to turn and hand off to the big man. Sebastian Alt makes 1 man miss, runs over another dude inside the 15-yard line, down to the 14. Big running there for Sebastian Alt. We saw this workhorse big time against Atascocita and, of course, against Steele a couple of weeks ago. This is a man and an offensive line that means business.
Yeah, look at that initial contact there, Joe, as he just plows right through the defender on his way to picking up extra yardage.
Gain of 6, 2nd and 4, handoff to Hinault. He gets outside the numbers, breaks another tackle inside the 5, still on his feet, rumbling his feet inside the 5, picks up the 1st down. It's 1st and goal Westlake for Sebastian Hinault.
Akins learning quickly here. If you're going to bring him down, Joe, you better hang on, and you're not going to get him down, with just a simple arm tackle. As he, again, the 2nd straight carry, plowing through guys and getting extra yardage.
And that's a free hit, and it's an unblocked hit. It's the invitation of contact. 1st and goal inside the 5, the turn, the handoff, and Sebastian Hinault stumbles into the end zone. Did he hang on to the ball? Yes, he did. Sebastian Hinault, the 5'11", 185-pound senior, in for his 6th rushing touchdown, and the Chaps are on the board just like that.
About as efficient as you could draw it up on the opening drive. You get a completion, and then you get a heavy dose of Sebastian Hinault, 20 yards running the football, capped by the touchdown run. That's how you draw it up if you're Westlake.
8:20 left here in the opening quarter, and already points on the board for Westlake. Out of the snap of Holden Helms, the hold of Austin Knox. Nolan Bartley drives it through. 8:20 left in the opening quarter. It's Westlake 7, Akins 0. We'll be right back. This is Texas High School Football.
For over 30 years, Thomas J. Henry has been in the fight for those who have been injured in Texas. With over $1 billion delivered to our clients in the last 4 years and more than 13,000 5-star reviews, our dedication to life-changing results is clear. But don't just take our word for it. Hear from those who've experienced the difference. Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust.
Hi, I'm Jenny Covert at Covert Chevrolet in Bastrop, where down-home roots and neighborly service still mean something. At Covert Chevrolet, we're proud to stand by our commitment to you with exceptional service and honest deals, and treating every customer like family. For over 116 years, the Covert family has proudly served Central Texas. And here in Bastrop, we're more than a dealership. We're your neighbors. Covert Chevrolet, Highway 71 in Bastrop, or online at covertbastrop.com. Together, let's drive.
We welcome back. Our KXAN weather powered by A+ Federal Credit Union. How about that sunset, ladies and gentlemen? Beautiful night for football. In the shade, even 94, probably about maybe 98, 99 on the field when I was walking around. In the shade, it was pretty nice. Little breeze. Nice night for Thursday night football. Welcome all of you back to KBVO TV. Of course, our live presentation of Westlake and Akins. The M. Robinson Fine Jewelry scoring drive for the Chaparrals. They go 32 yards in 5 plays, and of course capping the drive, a 4-yard touchdown run by Sebastian, and all to his 6th of the season. So Akins backs against the wall already, going to have to respond on this drive to try to stay close with the Westlake Chaparrals.
And the key, Joe, is going to be trying to pick up some positive yardage on 1st and 2nd down. They didn't do that on their first drive. That put them in the 3rd and long.
So a kickoff here, and they're going to try to exercise some return with that. Walsh going to get the call here. Actually, that's the punt returner there is Buen Rostro, and he is taken down immediately inside the 15-yard line. You can see the pursuit here on the kickoff return. So we take a look at the replay here, powered by our friends at Howdy Honda. See the return there by Buen Rostro. Again, he doesn't have too many punt returns on the season. They rely heavily on Andrew Copeland for that duty. So with that, the ball marked at the 15-yard line, 85 yards in front of the Akins offense, trying to get something going here with Tovar at the helm. With that on the first play, not much running room there, maybe a yard, and it is nothing but a cloud of dust there as Junior Carter gets the call for a 1-yard plunge. It'll be 2nd down and 9. It's
an undersized offensive line for Joe, or for Akins, Joe, not for you, but for Akins. And you can see the push that the Westlake defensive line is getting up front. It's a different beast when you're staring Maddox Flint in the face and company for the Westlake defensive line.
Outside of Joe Jones, yours truly probably the heaviest dude on that Akins offensive front. But at the end, they got some tall guys down there, but they're making it work. Some athletic guys on the offensive front here for Akins. In the pistol formation, Tovar looking to hand off. Not much running room, and Junior Carter is going to be brought down just inside the original line of scrimmage. Got a loss of 4 on the play, back to the 11-yard line.
A really nice pursuit for Westlake from the backside. I couldn't quite see who that was, but you can see coming from behind and through the middle of the offensive line there, Westlake, Colin McClune, able to get in there for the initial contact.
Impressive stuff already. A lot of plays behind the line of scrimmage already. Once again, back into a 3rd and long situation. 3rd down and 13 officially. As Akins trying to come up with something here. You'd like to see some sort of speed threat from Tovar. He is that converted wide receiver. Asked to do quite a bit today in this start. Going to roll that direction, get him on the run, and here comes the rush. He fires to the sideline. That ball is picked off, and it's going to be a pick 6 for Hayes Broadhead. Broadhead with the interception return for a score. The first defensive touchdown of the season for the Westlake Chaparrals, and Broadhead just waited for that fly ball to come down, secured it, and took it to the house. Touchdown, Westlake.
Well, Broadhead got a tackle for the loss on the opening drive, and then on this play, he is in the right spot to come up with the interception, but that's the inexperience of quarterback for Jaden Tovar, Joe. I mean, he just kind of throws that one up for grabs. There's a couple of Chaparrals there, and Broadhead comes down with it.
Nice job and a nice moment there for Hayes Broadhead. Good snap by Helms, good hold by Knox, and Bartley knocks it through. So with 6:40 left, Chaparrals don't even have to take a snap offensively to get back on the board. They lead Akins 14-0. Back in a moment. This is Texas High School football.
If you're thinking about a compact tractor and you want the best, you can afford a Kubota.
Check out the new Kubota L2502 package deal. A front loader, a rear mower, a box blade, and a trailer, all for one low price.
All Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
It only takes a second for a routine drive to turn into a life-changing collision. Whether it's a car, motorcycle, or distracted driver behind the wheel, the impact can be devastating. At Thomas J. Henry, we know what that moment feels like, and we know how to fight for the justice and compensation you deserve. From the first call to the final verdict, our team is by your side every step of the way. Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust.
If you're thinking about a compact tractor and you want the best, you can afford a Kubota.
Check out the new Kubota L2502 package deal. A front loader, a rear mower, a box blade, and a trailer, all for one low price.
U-Haul Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
We welcome you back. Thomas J. Henry High School Football Live on KBVO TV. Joe Taylor, Ricky Doyle, Jim Knox with you here. Not the normal crew. Shout out to the good folks. Again, as you know, Roger's the man when it comes to this broadcast, and we're just happy to kind of maybe give him a little bit of the night off because he's got a very long road trip. They go to the swamp, and I can't, you know, this new thing in the SEC, we wish Roger and Craig and all the crew the best of luck and the best of trips to the swamp. But man, can you imagine like never going to the swamp before and then getting a chance to broadcast from there? That is a bucket list item right there, going to Florida on Saturday.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm a little jealous of Roger getting to check off all these SEC stadiums. I mean, those are all bucket list venues to visit.
So the initial kickoff here after the pick six from Hayes Broadhead. Not really a scoring drive, but still a fantastic play for Hayes Broadhead, his first interception of the season, and of course a pick six here for Westlake gets the Chaparrals on the board 14-0 over Akins with the offense under the direction of Jaden Tovar. Hadn't been going very well thus far, but this is unfortunately what was expected. And we've talked about the next man up. Well, how about everything else that goes on with this staff? Jerry De La Huerta, the defensive coordinator, is elevated to the interim head coach. The offensive coordinator under Joey Sachs, who was calling plays offensively, is Ben Cooper. So the OC stays the OC, but now is the play caller. So without Chris Gonzalez and, of course, without Dylan Cagle, it's a little different looking offense. On the high snap, Junior Carter gets the handoff. Not much running room there. A couple of yards loss on the play. Just a swarm of tacklers already with Westlake up 14-0.
I mean, it's difficult to do much, Joe, when Westlake is consistently in the backfield like they have been on virtually every play so far in this game. But, you know, I just feel bad for the Akins players, Joe. I mean, you're off to a 4-0 start, the best in program history, and circumstances and life changes happen, certainly. But it's a bummer for a program that was clearly bought into what Joey Sachs was teaching and was coaching these guys, and then they lose their coach. That's a difficult pill to swallow if you're a 15, 16, 17-year-old kid.
And it's also a very emotional decision that Joey Sachs has to make.
Absolutely.
And I got a chance to talk with Tony Salazar, and I'll make this point after the play. Two wide receivers to the left of the formation. Pistol formation as Tovar hands to Junior Carter. Good running room, good blocking up front as he gets back to the original line of scrimmage and plunges forward another couple of yards to set up third down. First third down scenario that is inside the first down, or inside the original line of scrimmage marker. So it'll be third and long, but 3rd and 8, their best third down situation this evening.
And we'll see if they trust Tovar here to put the ball in the air again. Joe obviously did not go well the first time he was looking to throw. 0 of 1 on the night. That was the pick six for Hayes Broadhead.
So now with two wide receivers each way. Shotgun formation. Tovar looking to throw up the sidelines. That throw is high. He had to get rid of it quickly. And it will be incomplete. Punting time yet again for the Akins Eagles. Of course, only one punt. Third and long play ended up in a pick six. That's how we're at 14-0. And, of course, a 32-yard scoring drive on the opening possession for the Chaparrals. The 4-yard plunge by Sebastian and Alt. That's all you've missed here in the first 8 minutes of this one. 5:13 to play here in the first quarter. As Westlake and Akins on what we affectionately call the Thursday night ACL swing of the season for high school football in the greater Austin area. Low snap, it gets away from Ramirez. This one's going to be partially blocked. No flag, and it'll be fielded on the hop on the far side. I believe getting an opportunity to get his hands on that ball for the Westlake Chaparrals was actually Colin McClune who got his hands on it. We'll take a look at the replay here, but I also believe that we'll see who gets a hold of this ball at the very end. Yeah, it is. He comes up and makes the play, but actually it's Austin Knapp that has the opportunity. Actually, Colin McClune, rather. Colin McClune's the one that kind of tracked that ball down like he was a receiver and made sure he got contact of the ball before it rolled out of bounds. So Westlake's going to start on Akins' side of the field at the 11-yard line already in the Raising Cane's red zone with 14-0 score. Two wide receivers to Reese Wise's right, one to his left. The delay handoff goes to Jaron Lopez. Lopez at the 5, Lopez at the goal line, and he is into the end zone on an 11-yard touchdown run to cap the drive. No flag. Westlake again with a blocked punt on special teams, sets up a short yardage situation on 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line. Lopez finds pay dirt, touchdown Westlake, touchdown Jaron Lopez, and for the sophomore tailback, that's his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season.
Well, we've learned that if you follow William Twardowski, good things tend to happen. The senior center opened up a huge hole there for Jaron Lopez to run through.
So with that, the extra point is up and good. 4:56 left here in the first quarter. Westlake on top of Akins, 21-0. This is Texas high school football.
Lesson on what makes a burger mighty fine. Well, you got to start with a quarter or a half pound of daily ground all natural Angus beef, and it's all about variety. You pick yellow, white, red, or heck all of them. They've got options as wide as the Texas sky. Add some fresh cut crinkle fries and a hand dipped bluebell milkshake, and that, my friends, is a lesson on being mighty fine. And that's mighty fine.
We welcome you back. Thomas J. Henry High School Football Live, powered by our friends at St. David South Austin Medical Center, which from our vantage point is that way. It's very, very close to the St. David South Austin Medical Center location. Joe Taylor, Ricky Doyle with you. Of course, Jim Knox down on the sidelines. A one-play, 11-yard drive. Of course, the drive powered by M. Robinson Fine Jewelry. Westlake on top 21-0. 2 offensive scores. Only 6 snaps for the Westlake Chaparrals, 14 points on offense, and a pick 6 by Hayes Broadhead. And that's the difference in the ball game thus far. 21-0 your score, 4:56 left in this one in the first quarter. Bartley's going to sail this one out of bounds for the touchback. So at what point do you kind of have to draw the line in the sand if you're Westlake of when you start getting guys in? I think that's going to be a conversation that starts sooner rather than later, Ricky.
Yeah, I think that's the challenge for Tony Salazar. It's tough to manage a game like this. I mean, you're coming off a bye week, so you want your guys to get out there a little bit and get to play some football, but you don't want to take the chance, obviously, of any injuries. You want to get some of your younger players experience. So I would think most of these starters won't go much beyond the first quarter, Joe.
Well, we're already starting to see some guys filter in. Miller Bragg's in at corner. I see Pasquale Marizzi down there. Shout out to him. He just committed to Army. He will wrestle at the next level in Division I NCAA. Junior Carter getting the call here. He turns and rumbles out about a yard. Picks up 1 yard for his effort there. 2nd down and 9. As we get a look at Hayes Broadhead still in the mix. Tate Lung getting in the mix. We're seeing Jack Burnham get some opportunities. Logan Lardy is in the ball game as well. Colton Fromberg, who is the world's smallest defensive end, but man, he has been a turnover machine. Big play guy in Colton Fromberg. He is in the mix. We also see Holden Helms on the 2 deep. We'll see if he gets an opportunity to get in at some point. In fact, he does make the tackle on that last play. So already starting to see some second teamers get some time with the points already extended out to a 21-0 lead. 4:10 left in the first quarter. On 2nd down and 9, Tovar looks to turn and hand off to Junior Carter, who is tackled behind the line of scrimmage, back to the original line of scrimmage at the 25-yard line. And man, that is a tough load for guys that are, I know, that are not the same side as Junior Carter. Take a look at the replay here on the Howdy Honda replay. Just hunting season for Pasquale Marizzi right there. If he knows how to wrestle, I'm pretty sure he knows how to tackle. That is form tackling at its finest right there from Pasquale.
And also pretty good at getting off blocks, which he was able to quickly shed the offensive lineman there and get into the backfield.
He's a dude that you want on your side, that is for sure. And where Westlake really is kind of underdeveloped on the defensive front, they've got some tough guys. We mentioned they don't have the big 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" guys anymore. All of those are playing Division I college football, but the guys that they do have pretty big motors. On 3rd down and 10, this one's going to end in the backfield. A loss of 4 yards on the play, and guess who? Colton Fromberg comes in and makes the tackle behind the line of scrimmage, as that offensive play just does not get north, as Carter had nowhere to go before Fromberg had him in his sights. Brings him down from the blind side, and it's 4th down and punting time again for the Akins Eagles.
And Fromberg has just been so fun to watch this season. I mean, he is extremely undersized for a defensive end, particularly what we're used to seeing at Westlake, but he's so quick off the ball, Joe, and he's able to get penetration into the backfield.
So with that, an end-over-end punt that'll actually be returnable here at the 45-yard line. Good move here by Rhett Jenkins inside the 30. Jenkins has one man to beat, sheds 2 more tacklers inside the red zone down to the 15-yard line. Rhett Jenkins moments away from breaking a punt return for a score, but he is the guy that can be this fire starter, this spark on the punt return team. We've seen him make some plays on the kickoff return. Now he makes a big play here on the punt return to give Westlake yet another short field inside the 15 at the 14-yard line.
And a couple of really nice blocks there from the Westlake special teams along the sideline, pinning their defender up against the sideline, opening up the hole for Jenkins. And the game's pretty easy, Joe, when you're consistently starting inside your opponent's 20-yard line, which is what Westlake has done so far tonight. Average starting position, the 21.5-yard line of Akins for Westlake.
I think everybody will take that if you're trying to just get through the early portions of this ball game. 2:22 left here. Wise. Actually, Austin Knox already in the ball game here, and a good play on the far side defensively there, as that pass intended for Newhouse, and they're getting some opportunities here with the starting offensive front. But Knox already in the ball game here. His first pass falls incomplete. We look at the Howdy Honda replay. Good pressure. Knox gets the ball out, but it's poked away there by Devin McDonald. Now Knox looking to turn and hand off. Again, good running room here for Sebastian and Alt. Rumbles off first contact and then initiates more contact and then takes the party with him down to the 8-yard line. Impressive run for Sebastian and Alt.
Yeah, that play looked like it was blown up in the backfield by Akins, but Alt somehow able to keep the legs going and get positive yardage on it for Westlake.
So with that, a gain of 6, it'll set up 2nd down and 4. The Chaps can get a first down inside the 5. Knox looking to turn and hand off. This time it's Braden Riddell. Riddell makes one cut and into the end zone. Did he get in? Yes, he did. Braden Riddell with another quick hit as he put that foot in the ground and darted back to his right to get to the end zone. What a shifty athletic move from Braden Riddell, who is into the end zone. Touchdown, Westlake.
And he's really become a Swiss Army knife for Westlake so far this season. I mean, he's great at receiver, but look at the moves here. It looks comfortable playing running back. Westlake they just want to get the ball in his hands some way, whether it's punt returns, catching passes, running the ball. It works out well.
3rd rushing touchdown for Braden Riddell. Point after touchdown is up and good for Bartley. And with that, we go with 1 minute and 40 seconds left here in the opening quarter. It's Westlake 28, Akins 0. This is Texas High School football.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Covert. At Covert Lincoln, we believe modern American luxury should extend beyond the showroom, right to your driveway. Our white glove service means effortless maintenance with complimentary pickup and delivery. And our state-of-the-art mobile service van comes to you wherever you are. From routine maintenance to minor repairs, we bring expert Lincoln care right to your doorstep. Because at Covert Lincoln, service isn't just convenient, it's seamless. Schedule today and experience the luxury of time well saved. CovertLincoln.com.
Shift into a more affordable auto loan by refinancing with A-Plus FCU, Austin's best credit union. With our A-Plus Beat Your Rate offer, save 1% APR or more off your current auto loan rate and get on the road to living your A-Plus life. With lower monthly payments, less interest, and a faster loan payoff. Apply today at aplusfcu.org/beatyourrate.
Thomas J. Henry High School football live. We welcome you back to Burger Stadium in Southwest Austin, the home of the McConaughey button hook. That's right. Dazed and confused. That is what Akins is right now, unfortunately. Down 28-0. It has been a whirlwind here, but the Chaparrals coming off the bye week in control of this one from jump. Another scoring drive here for the Chaparrals. They go 14 yards in 3 plays after a 40-yard return on a punt by Rhett Jenkins. He sets up the 3rd score. Braden Riddell with his rushing touchdown takes the score to 28-0. Bartley will kick this one off. It'll be returnable here. Westlake again want to practice the kick return game. Pretty good running room here out to the 20-yard line, but then a regroup. Nice job there by the Westlake Chaparrals as they double down on the return man. It was a nice job there by Buen Nostro, and a very good job there by the young Bishop McKinney, the junior defensive back, making a tackle in the open feet.
Yeah, looked for a minute there like there might be some room to run for Akins on that return, Joe, but quickly swallowed up by McKinney. And look at the numbers. 2 minutes is all the Westlake offense has had the football in this game. 2 minutes and 11 seconds time of possession for Westlake, but they've got offensively 21 points on the board, the other 7 points coming via the pick six. I mean, the scores have come quickly, and they have come often for Westlake in this first quarter.
So with that, Tovar is going to be in the pistol with Junior Carter behind him. They're going to stick with the guns here. He runs to his left, trying to get to the edge. Miller Bragg comes up and runs support and tackles him right at the line of scrimmage. No gain at the 20-yard line. Good play there by Miller Bragg, who's given up about 20 to 25 pounds on Junior Carter.
Yeah, you watch the pursuit by Miller Bragg here. Not afraid to throw his body in there, because you're right, Joe. He's given up a lot of weight, a lot of size in that one, but a nice tackle. We've got an official's timeout here.
Not sure what they're talking about here. Oh, looks like they're going to. So it should be. They didn't.
Oh, there's an injury over here on the near sideline.
On the near sideline. And let's go ahead and take it down to Jim Knox. Jim, part of the reason why Westlake kind of enjoyed this little schedule juggernaut here to get the 2 Thursday games with the preceding bye week. The Westlake Chaparrals have not started with the #1 defense in practice all season long. There's a lot of bumps and bruises on this squad.
A lot of bumps and bruises, and reasonably so, because think about it, Joe and Ricky, arguably the toughest preseason schedule in high school football Westlake has just been through. They get the bye week. Now they open up district play against Akins. Akins won 4 straight. They lost their coach, but now, it's just domination on both sides of the football. But it's going to be interesting to see. A lot of people are talking about how many road games they had and how much mileage, over 1,000 miles they had to travel. But they played 3 of the top teams in the state of Texas. So that gets you ready for a tough district schedule right now.
That's Jim Knox down on the sideline. Excellent point. Of course, he's close to the team and kind of understands that there's a lot of guys that gave a lot of effort in those first 3 weeks. And as he mentioned, 1,200 miles that we logged covering the Chaparrals in the non-district.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, he talked about how difficult the non-district schedule was. I mean, the quote-unquote easy game was a 5-hour road trip down to the valley to take on San Benito. So maybe easy on the field, but still a difficult trip. And look at big Maddox Flint there blowing that one up, Joe.
Maddox Flint in the backfield, and of course, that is where all good men go to unfortunately perish, in the backfield against that man. He's a grown man, that Maddox Flint, and you're seeing why is in that sequence for the Akins Eagles. That's just unfortunate there for Travis Garcia. He is definitely the faster of the 2 backs, a leaner version of Junior Carter, but there was just nowhere to go as Flint drops him for a loss of 3.
I think that might be our final play of the first quarter. We'll see if Akins tries to get one more off. But, if you're Westlake, this is what you wanted to see in the first quarter. Everybody knew that this is a game you're expected to win and win big. No hesitation. This team has come out and handled this business in the first quarter.
And with that, the end of the first quarter, and John Carter will blow his whistle as we head to the second quarter. Westlake on top of Akins, 28-0. Back in a moment. This is Texas high school football.
When a company vehicle hits you, the fight isn't just against the driver. It's against the corporation and their insurance team. Their goal is to protect themselves. Ours is to protect you. At Thomas J. Henry, we've handled some of Texas's toughest company vehicle cases. With over $1 billion recovered for our clients in the last 4 years, we have the results and the experience to back us up. When big companies cause big problems, we get big results. Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust.
Welcome to Covert Auto Group. Since 1909, the Covert family has been at the heart of Central Texas, serving millions with pride and dedication. From modest beginnings to becoming a symbol of Texas automotive excellence, we are committed to setting new standards and exceeding expectations every day. Our journey is built on a foundation of trust, integrity, and a relentless focus on exceptional service. Discover what makes us different. Visit covertauto.com, driving Texas forward.
We welcome back the Covert Ford fan cam. Some of the students making it out. And, of course, enjoying this one already, especially if you're a Chaparral fan. 28-0 your score as we welcome all of you to the second quarter. Joe Taylor alongside Ricky Dole. Jim Knox down on the sidelines. Our statistician up here in the booth is Gene Jacobson. Of course, the Westlake Technical Entertainment crew of 25 students, bringing you the sights and sounds of this one. As Tovar barking out signals, going to run with the football in a straight quarterback read, running to the left side. Looks pretty good on the third down run, but still well short of the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 4th down and 11 at the ball at the 19-yard line.
And remember, it hasn't been easy punting the football for Akins either tonight, Joe. They had one punt that was blocked. They've given up a couple of big returns to Westlake, so it's been a challenge in all three phases, I should say, of the game for Akins. Negative 12 yards of offense for the Eagles. They've had the ball 5 times so far tonight.
So with that, we see the punting unit come in here for the Chaparrals, or the punt return has 2 men back deep to receive around the 45-yard line. Henry Ramirez, the junior, going to punt this one away. A high punt that's going to go short. No reason to do anything with this one except let it fall and burn to the outside. And it'll be Westlake football at the Akins 32-yard line. So another short porch for the Westlake Chaparrals.
And we've seen Westlake already go to the bench on the offensive side of the ball. We've seen Austin Knox in on the last series, although it does look like Reese Wise has his helmet on here, so we'll see who actually comes out of the huddle with the Westlake offense.
This is an opportunity where, 28-0, you don't want to call it practice because that's not what it is, but it's game-like simulation, something you really can't do. But when you're Westlake and have one of the best defenses in the state of Texas that you go up against every single day in practice, you still want that game speed. So Reese Wise is back in, 2 wide receivers on either side. Now play action, quick look. They dump it off here to Broadhead. Broadhead to the 20 inside the Raising Cane's red zone. Picks up the first down as he gets down to the 16-yard line, call it the 17-yard line, as Broadhead, the younger brother of Hayes, now Chase with his first catch, and that was a good pressure right there in the face of Reese Wise. You don't get that in practice, and that hand was right in front of his face mask, and he's delivered the bullet to Broadhead. Now on the play action, rolling right, throwing right to Broadhead at the 10, in the 5, turns the corner, dives towards the goal line. Did he stay in? Yes, he did. Chase Broadhead stumbling towards the outside. And good, 10-10 left here in the first half. It's Westlake 35, Akins 0. Back in a moment. This is Texas High School football.
At Howdy Honda, it's all about great volume, and volume. A great volume of inventory with nearly 700 new Honda models to choose from, like Civic, CR-V, Pilot, Accord, and more. In stock and ready for immediate delivery. A great volume of savings with big discounts, incredible lease specials, and even low APR financing options. All of this matched with a great volume of customer service. It's easy to see why we're the #1 volume Honda dealer in Central Texas. Get to Howdy Honda today, where it's all about volume.
Shift into a more affordable auto loan by refinancing with A-Plus FCU, Austin's best credit union. With our A-Plus Beat Your Rate offer, save 1% APR or more off your current auto loan rate and get on the road to living your A-Plus life. With lower monthly payments, less interest, and a faster loan payoff. Apply today at aplusfcu.org/beatyourrate.
We welcome you back. Thomas J. Henry High School Football Live, powered by our friends at M. Robinson Fine Jewelers. Got a chance to chill out with Mo last week during the bye week. Had the Westlake Red Party. About 100 Westlake moms with the bye week. Oh, man, what a celebration that was. Got the coaches' wives out and about. Our partners over at Sway Thai on Bee Cave Road. What a night it was, celebrating the women who make it happen behind the scenes, the Westlake moms.
They've gone to a lot of football games over the years, Joe, those moms, supporting their sons out there.
A lot of mileage on the old SUVs, that's for sure. Bartley going to kick this one off, and it will land 9 yards deep and out the back of the end zone for the touchback. Joe Taylor, Ricky Doyle with you. Jim Knox down on the sideline. Jim, more of the same for Westlake. Short porches, effective drives, score and score alike.
Yeah, they're making it look easy tonight, Joe. No doubt about it. I mean, Joe, let's get you down here. I think Akins can use you on that offensive line. I'm not saying anything, but just give me the thumbs up and offensive line. They can use you.
If you tell me that Jerry De La Huerta during the broadcast will give me a number 9 jersey and I will put on a gold helmet and go out there and play, my knee will last for about, well, how long is the first play? 3 seconds, 4 seconds? We'll see if I can get a step on some of them. We'll see.
You just need to hold your ground, Joe. Just stand there. Just get that squat mode going.
Tovar with the run to the left here. The loss of one on the play. Good play there. Good pursuit. Tovar is actually incredibly fast. He gets off this ball very quickly on the designed run when he gets in motion. We actually do have another quarterback in the mix here for the Akins Eagles. It's Santi Vigil. Santi Vigil, his full name is Santiago, but he likes to go by Santi. He is in behind center for Ben Cooper's offense here. Jerry De La Huerta, I got a chance to catch up with him, and you know, when you're in our position and you kind of know what time it is, all you want to do is express the professionalism that the Akins Eagles coaching staff have shown in this time of emotional roller coaster that has been. Now we've got a timeout called by Akins. We'll take it as well. Right after this, we'll be right back. Actually, we'll stay right here and show you how the Chaparrals have been handling the run, as they say, and they've been handling it quite well. Let's take a look at it here if you're watching on our telecast. And it's been impressive. Not much room to work. A lot of guys getting into the backfield. See Austin Knapp there, along with McClune. Those guys are really coming into their own on the defensive front. The front seven really played well this evening thus far.
And you can really tell the story of the game right here, Joe. You can just see that Westlake is winning the line of scrimmage on every single play, consistently putting pressure in the Akins backfield. Negative 13 yards of total offense for Akins in the game. That's all on the ground. They've yet to complete a pass, so have not been able to quite literally make any forward momentum. And you know, I just want to go back to what Jim Knox said, and I want to thank him for not suggesting that I go on the offensive line. I think he was wisely choosing you because he knows that Maddox Flint would break me into like 7 pieces if I was out there.
You and I both know that we are putting you about, you know where the sideline is, the boundary? That is where Ricky goes, and we tell him to run in a straight line. Ricky back in the day, just get it, as far as the local news faction is concerned. Ricky and I used to be, well, we're teammates here and now, but we used to be teammates back in the day. He headed up the sports department. I headed up the traffic department for a now defunct news channel in Austin. And with that, again, that time it is Travis Garcia, who's kind of caught behind the line of scrimmage there, and a good play in the open field by Westlake. We'll take a look at the Howdy Honda replay here, but and just good pursuit and fighting off the ball there. That's a great play there by the Westlake Chaparral defense, and I believe that is Hayden Clark. No, that's Cole Richter. Cole Richter getting into the double digits there. Actually, my bad. That is actually Carson Buchanan that made that play, along with Cole Richter. Guys just flying to the ball. A lot of guys getting into the ball game right now, Ricky. And as I mentioned, you know, when we were teammates back in the day, we kind of looked at this Akins squad and went, this is a team that's always going to struggle. And of course, as the play continues, more struggles continue as the play is made behind the line of scrimmage, and it is now 4th down. But Ricky and I, when Ricky started to work at the now defunct local TV station, whose name we will not mention, he started a run club. And when you run against Ricky Doyle, everybody else looks like they're walking. A very competitive runner. I don't know how fatherhood and husbandry has helped you now, but you still run, don't you? You still run quite a bit, don't you?
I do still run, but it's long and slow, Joe. That's it. I just run a long ways at a slow pace and just keep going.
Anything to just get out of the house for a little bit of time. Trust me. Some people play golf, and then they play because it's 4 hours, not because they're good. But in the end, a punt going out of bounds here will be Westlake's worst starting field position. The ball literally coming to a halt at the 41-yard line. But in all seriousness, this is something that we've talked about in years past. These games can kind of be traps for the team that's expected to win, and you always worry about focus, and you always worry about attention to detail. This is the sign of that championship standard that Tony Salazar and his staff have kept and going in his 3+ years as head coach in his 4th season. Back to pass is Austin Knox, looking left, throwing left. That pass caught. Coming out of it is Nash. And, man, the Nash making his first catch here this evening. Been wanting to say his name all year long. Nash Chapman with a big catch and a first down into Akins territory. One throw from Knox, one catch to the Nash, and it's first down Westlake. Gain of 17 yards on this bullet. Accurate throw there for the 6 foot, 182-pound senior quarterback, Austin Knox. Knox now chased out, going to roll right, looking downfield, still looking, launches off his back foot. Accurate pass, puts it on Broadhead. Broadhead with another clutch catch, and he makes the grab inside the Raising Cane's red zone, down to the 15-yard line. It looks like they're going to mark him down at the 14. A big gain of 19 yards on the running pass from Austin Knox. What a throw.
That was pretty good. I mean, Dad's down there, so he can give us the full scouting report. But I always find myself thinking, man, what if Austin Knox got a chance, Joe, what could he do? And, you know, it's tough when you got a guy like Reese Wise in front of you, but he can play. He is no average backup quarterback.
First down and 10, and now they give the rock here. Good play here by the Akins defense. We saw them in the face of quarterback Reese Wise last series. Reese able to get the ball out, but on that kind of almost tap pass run play to Rhett Jenkins, it was swallowed up, and they lost 3 yards on that play. First negative play for Westlake this evening. Loss of 3 on the tackle by Jackson Strobel on Rhett Jenkins. Now looking straight ahead, straight up the gut, big running room here. It's Nico Melendez. Melendez still on his feet inside the 5, trying for those extra yardage, and Melendez just shy of a touchdown, but he picks up the first down on a big run right there. Lots of holes, good blocking up front. Cash Baining in the mix. You see him clearing the path up front, downfield. What a run there by Melendez. A pickup of 15 yards. First down and goal. Tackle made by Devin McDonald. And they'll spread Westlake out. 2 wide receivers to Austin Knox's right, 1 to his left. Now looking to hand off to Melendez. Melendez straight up the gut, bounces off one tackler. Now has to kind of get out of the way, and positive yardage will send him down to the 2, but he kind of got caught up, his footwork a little bit, kind of slipped on the turf and just couldn't get the leverage to bulldoze his way into the end zone.
But a good push there by the Akins defensive line. Stout down there on the goal line. Nice team tackle there from the Eagles.
Second down and goal after the 1-yard run. So the second down and goal from the 3, basically the marker in between the 3 and the 2. Knox in the shotgun, going to roll the pocket to his left and look to throw immediately into the end zone, and a diving catch made by Rhett Jenkins. Jenkins into the end zone, his 4th touchdown catch of the season, and he makes a big one there. Knox put it where only Rhett could go get it. Beautiful pitch and catch there from Knox to Jenkins. Touchdown, Westlake.
Yeah, that's a smart ball. Don't have to worry about running with that one. He's in the end zone. Just put it down there where your guy can get it. Perfectly done, and another Westlake touchdown.
So the Chaparrals are in the end zone. And with that, Bartley will come on. Helms will snap it back to Knox as Bartley looks to connect here. Good snap, good hold, and the kick is up and good with 5 minutes straight up left in the half. Westlake 42, Akins 0. Back in a moment. This is Texas high school football.
This holiday season, Elisa's Dance Academy and the Westlake Symphonic Orchestra come together to perform a variety of holiday favorites. It's perfect for all ages. Join us December 11th through 14th to celebrate the 20th Annual Nutcracker Spectacular, presented by the Westlake Technical Entertainment Crew and Lexus of Austin. Tickets on sale October 11th. Get them online at nutcrackerspectacular.com.
We welcome you back to Burger Stadium here, the jewel of Southwest Austin, home of AISD stalwarts like the Bowie Bulldogs and, of course, these Akins Eagles. House Park is home to Austin High. And, of course, can't forget about the North Schools where they play at Nelson Field. Again, 3 of the oldest stadiums in Central Texas, and they're all right here in the capital city. Don't get a chance to go to Historic House Park this year, hoping it will be on the bill next year. Word is they've rebuilt the press box, or at least they're in process of rebuilding the press box. That is music to our ears. And with that, Bartley's going to pop this one up about 5 yards deep, and it will be another touchback. Again, the scoring drive for the Westlake Chaparrals, presented and powered by M. Robinson Fine Jewelry. with a good return. It is a 50-yard drive in 6 plays with a quick 3-yard touchdown grab by Rhett Jenkins. And the Chaparrals lead 42-0 with 4:55 left in the first half.
You know, the press box setup has not been ideal at House Park, Joe, but there is nothing quite like a beautiful night in Austin, sitting at House Park, looking at the skyline. It is tough to beat a good game at House Park. I'm bummed we don't get to go there this year.
Yeah, it's every time I drive by, like if you're heading into downtown and you kind of come off infield when it turns into 15th Street and you just pass by, it's that glimpse to the right that gets you every single time. The handoff going to Junior Carter, and he is destroyed in the backfield by Pasquale Marizzi. Marizzi getting through and just stunning Junior Carter in the backfield. Beautiful tackle, and another tackle for loss there is Santi Vigil. And actually it was not Junior Carter, apologies there. It was Jaden Tovar, who's kind of switched to a tailback position as they brought in Santi Vigil. Vigil now kind of the quarterback, Tovar the tailback in that situation, and he got brought down big time back to the 22-yard line. A loss of 3 on Pasquale Marizzi's tackle. That was textbook.
Yeah, I think Akins just trying to see if they can find something that might give them a little momentum on offense, Joe. And we mentioned it. Remember, the starting quarterback, starting running back out tonight. These guys can play, Joe. These are real players for Akins. That's a big loss for them on the offensive side.
Pistol formation here, and Vigil going to hand off to Tovar. Tovar again going down. This time coming in and making the play is Rhett Henry out of his linebacker position. Starting to see some of these guys. You realize that over 2 weeks of practice, really 13 days of practice, there are some guys that have gotten Jason Jones's attention, and the defensive staff really like what they see.
Yeah, and you know, Rhett Henry typically has played more in the secondary, but you can see the speed that he brings when you move him up to linebacker. He can get in that backfield in a hurry, which is what he did right there.
Got a lot of guys that play very well from the neck up, and we talk about that when Westlake has been put up against, you know, larger schools like Atascocita, of course, north of 3,500 students. You get into the Steels of the world, guys, the programs that just are bursting at the seams. They have huge Division I guys, and you start to wonder, how does Westlake compete? That's how. Neck up, kind of know your role, know your assignment, and make football a thinking man's game. Nice tackle there by Colton Fromberg as Tovar gets back to the original line of scrimmage at the 20-yard line, but now it's 4th down again. We see the Howdy Honda replay, and Fromberg again coming in from that defensive end behind the play, and Tovar has nowhere to go.
Another 4th down and long situation. But you're right, Joe. I mean, you know, people ask me about this Westlake team. I'm like, I don't know that they have the high-end talent that some of the great Westlake teams have had, but you just know they're always going to play smart. They're not going to beat themselves, and the effort for Westlake is always there. And that this year's team is certainly no different.
And with that, Ramirez going to punt this one away. Henry gets it off, and it'll be caught by Braden Riddell, and it looks like he signaled for a fair catch. So once again, the drive will originate on the Akins side of the field at the Eagle 48-yard line. Another short porch for Westlake's offense.
Yeah, the average starting field position for Westlake has actually gotten worse on the last couple of drives, and they've started their drives at midfield. And that tells you where Westlake has been living in this game. It has consistently been on the Akins side of the 50-yard line, the average field position for the Chaps to start their drives, the 31-yard line of the Eagles so far tonight.
2.5 minutes left in 30 seconds. We will have our 2-minute timeout before the half. 3 wide receivers to the right of the formation. Knox looking to bubble screen it out to Lawson Grimes, our Chap of the week. Lawson with a good running room, breaks free, tiptoeing his way down the sidelines, really creating after the catch and using his speed and agility to get down inside the 35-yard line, inside the 30, and down to the 28-yard line for Lawson Grimes.
Yeah, Lawson Grimes is a guy that Westlake hasn't quite gotten involved on offense as much as I might have expected so far this season. Only 4 catches coming into tonight, Joe, but we saw last year this guy can fly, and I think Westlake needs him as this season progresses.
Agreed. Now going deep and out of the mouth of Ricky Doyle and into reality. Downfield strike to Lawson Grimes. His first of the season. Touchdown Westlake.
Yeah, thank you, Kirk Rogers. Thank you, Austin Knox, for making me look smart. And how about that ball? Good ball from Austin Knox and a nice grab by Lawson Grimes.
And spinning it, Austin Knox's second touchdown pass, a thing of beauty and a joy forever for Lawson Grimes, who just ran it down. Beautiful catch over the shoulder here from Knox to Grimes. Touchdown Westlake. Bartley on for the extra point. Now Knox has to hold for him. up and through with 1:55 left. We'll take a timeout. It is all Chaparrals, 49-0 here with $1:55 left in the first half. This is Westlake football.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Covert. At Covert Lincoln, we believe modern American luxury should extend beyond the showroom, right to your driveway. Our white glove service means effortless maintenance with complimentary pickup and delivery. And our state-of-the-art mobile service van comes to you wherever you are. From routine maintenance to minor repairs, we bring expert Lincoln care right to your doorstep. Because at Covert Lincoln, service isn't just convenient, it's seamless. Schedule today and experience the luxury of time well saved. CovertLincoln.com.
I think we're out of tortillas.
We can manage, right?
I'm here without you, baby, but you're still on my lonely mind. I think about you, baby, and I dream about you all the time.
Oh, that's Favor with our HEB Now order.
When it's got to be HEB and it's got to be now, Favor brings you HEB Now.
Bologna taco.
Get 15 items in as little as 45 minutes. Favor, how Texas orders in.
We welcome you back. Thomas J. Henry High School football live from Burger. All right. That's right. That is where Dave Wooderson, who was hanging out with people much younger than him in that movie. We won't talk about that. We'll talk about the button hook that he ran at probably 3 in the morning. But in the end, it's the movie that made Burger famous. Dazed and Confused. And right now, the opposite for the Westlake Chaparrals. 49-0. Right now, the Chaparrals, I promised Rex Hoover I would say it, L-I-V-I-N, just living on this broadcast and, of course, on this field. Westlake's kind of found a new home. They are all over the Akins Eagles, 49-0 with 1:55 left here in the first half.
Chaps played a lot of football games in this stadium the last couple of years. You mentioned it earlier in the broadcast, Joe, a couple of playoff games here last year, and I think a regular season game. This is, if there is a home away from home for Westlake, this has been it the last few years.
Chap Stadium South, as we got accustomed to it. We more than made up for it on the road trips to both Humble and San Benito in back-to-back weeks. Now racing off the field, they had too many men on the field. I don't think you're going to be penalized here in a 49-0 game, but having too many dudes on the field. But nonetheless, line drive kick out of bounds will be, or out of the back of the end zone, I should say, will be another touchback. We will not take a 2-minute timeout before the end of the half. The touchdown inside 2 minutes and the break after that represented that 2-minute warning or 2-minute timeout. Not too sure why the NCAA doesn't like the word warning. And we were warning you that the half is, I don't know, it's kind of like the shootout. Remember that? The Red River shootout, we can't call it that anymore? I don't know. I mean, it's not, it is what it is, but at the end of the day, it's sponsored, so who cares? But it's one of those things where I don't think anybody really cares if you use the word 2-minute warning or 2-minute timeout. Either way, when the clock hits 2 minutes or less, we're going to stop. I mean, no big deal.
Sometimes you can outthink yourself a little bit, Joe. Yeah. College football want to differentiate from the NFL. Look, everybody's going to call it the 2-minute warning. Let's just call it the 2-minute warning.
Why not? Who cares? There's no, I mean, I get the want and need to be different and separate yourself, but at the end of the day, it's a 2-minute warning. Pistol look here for Santi Vigil. 4 men front for Westlake as they turn and hand it off here to Junior Carter, and he has got nowhere to go. Just a huge push off that line and racing in. Junior Carter taken down, trying to see who that is in the backfield. It was just a great job by Tate Lung. Had the initial. Just a lot of bodies in there. Tate Lung makes the initial hat, and then again coming in is Cole Richter. Richter having a day here as he gets his first playing opportunities.
You watch games like this that get out of hand, and you start to realize the depth that exists in this program. And you're like, man, they're 3 or 4 deep, and these guys can still play, Joe. And that's what we're seeing tonight. I'm sure we'll see even more of in the second half as some of the younger guys start to get on the field.
There are a lot of seniors on this team. Record number of seniors, 71 of them. You're going to hear from Lawson Grimes on our radio and Chap app coverage during halftime. And I'll make the point after this play, after the loss of 2. It's 2nd down and 12. Santi Vigil calling out plays here, and now it looks like they're going to call a timeout. We will take it as well. Back in a moment. This is Texas High School football.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Covert. At Covert Lincoln, we believe modern American luxury should extend beyond the showroom, right to your driveway. Our white glove service means effortless maintenance with complimentary pickup and delivery. And our state-of-the-art mobile service van comes to you wherever you are. From routine maintenance to minor repairs, we bring expert Lincoln care right to your doorstep. Because at Covert Lincoln, service isn't just convenient, it's seamless. Schedule today and experience the luxury of time well saved. CovertLincoln.com.
I think we're out of tortillas.
We can manage, right?
I'm here
that's Favor with our HEB Now order.
When it's got to be HEB and it's got to be now. Favor brings you HEB Now.
Bologna taco.
Get 15 items in as little as 45 minutes. Favor, how Texas orders in.
We welcome you back to Burger Center, Burger Stadium. It's the athletic complex here in Southwest Austin. And once again, Fromberg making his presence known in the backfield on a timeout. Out of that timeout, the third down carry given to Travis Garcia. And there is nothing the 5'10", 175-pound senior tailback can do about it. He goes down in a heap, courtesy of Fromberg, back to the 20-yard line. Once again, just a very difficult spot for the Akins Eagles to be in, and it sets up 3rd and 15.
I keep talking about Fromberg, Joe, but this is not just a product of playing Akins. I mean, we saw him come up with a huge play against Steele a couple of weeks ago. We saw him do the same thing against Atascocita 3 weeks ago, coming up with a huge play to kind of help seal that game. He's been a playmaker on this Westlake defense.
So with the pistol formation here, Vigil looking to hurt, and he turned the wrong way, and this is where it can get dangerous. Ball on the carpet, and I think Westlake might have come up with it. Vigil turned the wrong way, and it looks like it will be Westlake football at the 15-yard line. So the second turnover of the ball game turns in to a disaster here, and again, just a miscommunication. Ball on the ground, kicking it around, and I believe at the bottom of that pile is Logan Lardy. Lardy looks like he might have come up with that one, and it is a fumble recovery for the Westlake Chaps, and of course in business in the Raising Cane's red zone at the 14-yard line. My over-under coming in, 7 touchdowns in the first half. We're right there, and I would have taken, if we take the over, we'll have to see how this works for Westlake, but I assume with 6 seconds they might take a shot, and that'll be it. But nonetheless, an opportunity with the ball in their hands at the end of the half here with a 49-0 lead.
Yeah, this is tricky if you're Tony Salazar, right? How do you manage this? You're already up 49-0, and I actually think they're going to go for a field goal, Joe, which makes sense. They haven't kicked a ton of field goals. Get some practice in this part of the game.
Nolan Bartley set for a 31-yarder here. Helms to snap it back to Austin Knox. Knox will hold it down from 31 yards out. It's up and good for Nolan Bartley. Show of class as Nolan Bartley makes it happen.
I was going to say, Joe, Xavier Reeder, actually the senior quarterback in there on the hold on that one.
That's nice. So Reeder getting the opportunity to hold for Bartley. That'll do it for the first half of play. Your score, Westlake 52, Akins 0. We go down to the sidelines where Jim Knox is patiently waiting for Tony Salazar.
Here he comes, Joe. Here we go. All right, Coach, I tell you what, get off that tough defense, that tough opening season. You go to a tough off-season schedule. You get there and then get the bye week. Then all of a sudden, total domination right now.
We're here. We're starting to play faster. You're starting to see guys out there play faster than they did earlier on in the year. That bye week was good for us to get our legs back. And then I asked our guys to start up and play fast, and we did.
And then what do we look for in the second half here? Just injury-free?
Well, obviously, we got some young players and some seniors that, practice too. We'll hopefully get those guys some reps and give them an opportunity to hone their skills and get better and build some depth on our program. And then, obviously, behind the scenes, we want to stay healthy and get out of this thing.
All right, thanks, Coach. Joe?
Thank you very much. That's Jim Knox down with Tony Salazar. We'll take you to halftime coverage here on both the radio, Shap app, and television side. Again, your halftime score here from Burger Stadium in Southwest Austin. Westlake all over Akins in their district opener, 52-0. We'll be right back. This is Texas High School football. We welcome all of you back to our television coverage after a resounding performance from the Akins Eagle Band, and I think I heard a little bit of electric guitar in there. So a brilliantly modern performance, and we give you the halftime highlights as Sebastian and Alt creating punishment on his end with a touchdown run. Here it is, coming right in the middle of your living room as he powered his way down inside the 5-yard line. This is a brilliant punt return here. Riddell making something out of nothing, reversing his field and putting his athleticism to work. And, of course, more highlights for the Westlake Chaparrals on offense as Hinault adds the touchdown. And then the relentless pursuit of Akins and their offense. Hayes Broadhead getting the pick 6. First interception return for a touchdown for Hayes, first of the year. And then, of course, Jaron Lopez with his 1 carry and 11 yards and a touchdown. And then Rhett Jenkins, another brilliant punt return here as he breaks loose inside the 20-yard line in the Raising Cane's red zone. And it opens up shop for Braden Riddell, who punches it in, his rushing touchdown tonight. And then, of course, Maddox Flint, all 6'2", 285 pounds of him, driving the quarterback for Akins into the ground. And then Chase Broadhead comes in for a couple of plays, gets his number called, and strikes home. Once again, just brilliant performances here by a number of the Westlake Chaparrals. Of course, guys getting opportunities to play here. You saw in that highlight the backup defensive back, Cole Richter. So just a lot going on. And, of course, going up top, Austin Knox finds Lawson Grimes, our Chap of the Week. And then the fumble recovery, we just talked about it on the radio side. 6 seconds left, and then Nolan Bartley adds the 31-yard field goal for Westlake. 11 first downs, 57 rushing yards, 130 yards through the air, 187 total yards, average starting field position. That's why the yardage is so low. Westlake starting on the Akins 28-yard line on average. No first downs for Akins, rushing yards -29, -29 total yards, and of course the turnover on the interception and then the fumble. So 2 turnovers for the Akins Eagles. One a pick 6 and the other one turns into points with the 31-yard field goal for Nolan Bartley. So great stuff from Westlake. Execution. They'll get the ball first too. That's the other thing, is Akins started with the football. So we can look at the top 10 here, and most of these folks are either on a bye or play tomorrow. Sound Lake Carroll atop with 5-0. Allen right behind them 5-0. Summit Creek 4-0. And, of course, the Ridgepoint Panthers at 5-0. Lake Travis at 5-0. They are on a bye week. Dickinson Gators at 5-0. Pearland Oilers. And then coming in at number 9, right behind the team they lost to, the 3-1 Chaparrals, looking up at Prosper. So, again, some good stuff. And if you weren't paying attention to last week, the Atascocita game coming down, a nail-biter game in the fourth quarter. C.E. King getting the better of Atascocita. How about 70 points on that defense 2 weeks later? Impressive stuff for King High School. Of course, a powerhouse of a district there. And District 26-6A, District of Doom here, 3 top 10 teams residing right here in the great Central Texas area.
Hey, you're going to earn the district championship coming out of this district this season, Joe. I mean, I think Dripping Springs has the best team they've had in a couple of years since Austin Novastad left, and we know Lake Travis is good every year, and then, of course, Westlake.
Return opportunity here for Bishop McKinney. Bishop to the 25, and he's knocked backwards there, kind of ran against the block from Chase Broadhead, but nonetheless, it will be Chaparral football, and they'll mark it off to about the 18-yard line. So this is the worst field position that the Chaparrals have started off with, and it's the opening kickoff of the second half.
I'd be curious to see who's going to play quarterback for Westlake here in the second half. We saw a lot of Austin Knox in the first half, and I think we might be getting our answer, Joe, that we're going to see our third quarterback of the night for Westlake.
And
Patton Jones, I believe.
Patton Jones getting an opportunity here. Where's the number 3? Jones, the junior quarterback, and of course his first opportunity in a varsity uniform. So Patton Jones going to work here. Westlake in a tight formation here, looking like they're going to run the football. They turn and hand the ball off to Nico Melendez, who has huge running room. Melendez with a surge across the 35 out to the 40 and falls forward to the 41-yard line. Good running room there. A gain of 21 yards and a first down for Nico Melendez.
And just a junior, and we've seen he's got some size, Joe, but he's got a little burst, too. Huge hole, obviously, there for him to run through, but Melendez powering for a big gain for Westlake.
3 carries for 28 yards, officially a gain of 23, as Melendez takes it to the 41-yard line. 2 wide receivers each way. Patton Jones with a back to his right, looking to play action, fires to the far side. That pass complete to the 45-yard line, a gain of 4. And with that, Nash Chapman grabbing another reception here, his second of the ball game.
This is some of what we've talked about, Joe. You get into the second half of a game like this, and you start to get a glimpse into the future of Westlake football. Who knows how things shake out next year, but Patton Jones very well could be the heir apparent at quarterback for Westlake.
We've seen Caleb Christian, Cash Bainig in the ball game. Of course, we think we've seen Will Markey maybe snapping the ball back. We'll get a look here. Yep, it is Will. And now the handoff to Melendez, going left and upended right there. Good play in the open field. Nicely done there by the Akins Eagle defender on that side. I believe that was number 24 or 25, Sam Roque. Roque on the tackle. And no gain on the play. Very nice job. So with that, a big 3rd down and 5, call it 3rd down and 6, technically nose of the football grazing the 45-yard line. 2 wide receivers to the right of Jones, 1 to the left. He's got a back on either side. Melendez, along with Broadhead, flank the junior quarterback in his first series as a Westlake QB. Jones barking out signal. Tons of time here with 9:15 left in the 3rd quarter. First drive of the ball game here in the second half. Jones trying to set up a screen to Broadhead, and he drops it. Started to run without the football. kind of turned upfield, and it was a nice play pursuit-wise by Jason Carrasco-Rodriguez, the 5'10", 200-pound senior defensive end that was waiting for Broadhead to turn upfield as he had him in his sights. You can see here on the Howdy Honda replay, the moment that Broadhead was going to turn and run with that football, Rodriguez was going to have something to say about it.
A nice job by the Akins defense. That is the first drive all game. Westlake has not come away with points, so credit to the Eagles. A strong start to the second half.
Outside of the 23-yard run by Melendez, they forced the punt near midfield. First time we're going to get to see the punt as Nolan Bartley straight punts this one into the air, and it's going to hit at the 15, take a lovely bounce, and roll down inside the 10-yard line down to the 8. Just outside the box of the soccer markings here at Berger Stadium. So again, with a 52-0 lead, Westlake turns the ball over via the punt, but now backed up are the Akins Eagles inside their own 10.
And we saw Akins in the first half try a couple of different players at quarterback, just trying to mix things up a little bit on the offensive side, see if they could find some momentum, and we'll see who gets the call here under center for the Eagles to begin the second half.
So with that, it looks like we are going to see the same signal caller, Sante Vigil. Will have the opportunity here for the Akins offense. He'll start in the pistol formation with Junior Carter behind him. The handoff will go to Carter. Carter trying to get to the outside, and he's brought down immediately. Good pursuit there by the Chaparral defense. Good job right there by number 32, Jacob Dietrichs. Dietrichs, again, was on the 2-deep the entire year last year and really got sidelined with an injury, had to fight his way back, and that is good to see Jacob back in the mix out of the defensive backfield and stretching that field. It's a nice gain on second down by Carter, pick up of 4 yards. And that might be the longest run of the night for the Akins Eagles. And conferring with my compadre Gene Jacobson, our statistician, that is the longest rush from scrimmage for the Akins Eagles thus far. 2 wide receivers to the right of the formation, 1 a tight end as Carter runs that direction, and he is drilled immediately. Good pursuit by the Chaps to the 14-yard line. A number of guys kind of coming out of the bottom of that pile there, but it's a good look by Chase Roth. Roth, an attack team player of the week, getting an opportunity to come in and make a play here. You can see Logan Lardy down there. Fromberg again making plays. Some guys that have played the majority of the game. See Fromberg down there, Lardy down there. Burnham is still in play defensively along the defensive front. You see McKinney lined up as a corner on the far side. Dietrichs is the corner on this side to the home side of the field. Pistol formation here, and now Vigil going to hand off to Carter. Carter with good running room, but as he got past the 15-yard line to the 16, looks like he might have had enough. That burst of speed is enough to the 19-yard line, and it's a first down. The first down of the ball game for the Akins Eagles, and it comes off right tackle, and Junior Carter, not without the effort from the Chaps to try to get the big man down, and whoever would list this man at 175 pounds was probably really far away from the action. I don't know where that tail of the tape comes from with Junior, but Junior's a big man, about 225 pounds, and he showed you right there what power can do. Yeah. Good gain of 5 and a first down run.
You pointed him out in the pregame warmups, Joe. You said, look at Junior Carter down there. That man is not 175, and it's pretty clear. You can tell on your television just by looking at him how big he is.
Junior Carter with a good cut. Good vision there, gets up to the 20-yard line, a gain of 1 before Westlake converts on him. Look at him, he's just going, you know what? You know, Dylan Cagle might have the night off as we get ready for a strong district run, but man, all of these guys hit real hard, Coach. That's what he has put in the work tonight. Not a lot to show for it except heart and determination. That's good stuff there from Junior Carter, trying to mix it up with some very talented players on the Westlake side of the football.
Yeah, he's been working hard tonight, Joe. 15 carries already. We're at the beginning of the second half. I mean, he has been doing the work for Akins, and it's 15 carries for negative -1 yard. I mean, he's just been fighting through contact in the backfield all night long.
So with that, they break the huddle. Tovar, the first half quarterback, lines up as the wide receiver to Vigil's right. The pistol formation, the turn, the handoff to Carter. Carter again right at the line of scrimmage before he's driven backwards. Chase Roth in the mix again at linebacker, leading the way. And, of course, another player getting an opportunity here is Eric Norton. Norton getting in there along with Roth, two guys that are off the attack team, playing very well. Got a chance to actually chat with Norton's mom at the Westlake Red Party, and I said, look, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And look, prognostication, get in the game, know the assignment, know the role. He's going to make some plays, and there he did. Eric Norton right there in the middle of the screen with Chase Roth. Good stuff.
It's always fun to see guys get their moments. You know, you never know when that time is going to come, but in some of these district games, we will see some of the bench players for Westlake getting their opportunities, and you got to take advantage when you get your chance.
3rd down and 9, Junior Carter with the football, and he is erased immediately as he got upfield to the 19-yard line, but then the hole collapsed immediately. As we told you, there's not a whole lot of drop-off here, and the big man up front, Jack Burnham, he's the guy that makes the ball carrier hate life and rethink all decisions. The big man got there, and it was good pressure from Chase Roth up the middle that kind of slowed Carter, that allowed Burnham to come over and make the finishing play. So with that, a loss of 1, 4th down and 10 now, and Ramirez is set to punt this ball away. Snap goes over the head, and it looks like it's going to go out of bounds for a safety. So with that, actually, check that. It's going to be
we got a flag
down. So yeah, the flag came in before the ball went out of bounds. So we'll have to see what John Carter wants to talk about.
False start. Offense, number 4. 5-yard penalty. Remaining 4th down.
Yeah, and that's pre-snap. Otherwise, we would be dealing with a safety. But it's pre-snap, so you have to accept the penalty, which makes life even more difficult for Ramirez. Here's the replay. You saw the flag come in quickly, but man, that almost went from bad to worse. They'd at least been able to execute on special teams until that moment, but now a good snap. Ramirez gets this one away, and it's a good punt that takes it back to midfield, but it is returnable. Jaron Lopez darts to the right. Lopez to the 30. Lopez to the 20. Down the right sideline before he's corralled inside the Raising Cane's red zone. And right now, Westlake having their way with the punt return game, and Jaron Lopez with a 49-yard return. Or excuse me, he caught it at the 49, and we're doing the math really quickly. That is looks like they're going to mark him out of bounds at the 14-yard line. So it'll be 1st down and 10 at the 14. And that is a lovely return for Jaron Lopez. We'll get you the official yardage in a moment. Looks like 35 from my count. So with that, we see Patton Jones go back into the ball game. Back on either side of him. 2 wide receivers to his left, 1 to his right. On the snap, a bit high, but they turn and hand it off. Good movement here is getting down inside the 5, down towards the 3-yard line. Good running room there. And that's Jake Wortham. Wortham already in the ball game, and Wortham with a touchdown run of his own back in San Benito. So Wortham getting some opportunities here.
Look at Chase Bryden as the lead blocker for him on that one.
So it's 1st down and goal Westlake. The ball marked at the 4-yard line. Patton Jones getting lost in the jet wash, is trying to get back to the line of scrimmage and does. Good opportunity there for Patton Jones as the play broke down to get loose.
There's a pretty nice job by Patton Jones, Joe, just to corral the high snap here. He's able to kind of tip it to himself and then catch it and make something semi-positive out of it for Westlake.
So with that, on 2nd and goal, Patton Jones again with the turn, the handoff to Wortham. Wortham straight up the gut, 4 yards in, and he scores. Jake Wortham adds his touchdown run to the mix of scores, and Westlake on the board again as Jake Wortham in for 6, touchdown Westlake.
Well, Jake Wortham, I think, would be the first to tip his cap to the offensive line there. You're not going to find a touchdown a whole lot easier than that. I don't even know that he was touched as he went through the offensive line and into the end zone. Yeah, you can see nobody lays a hand on him. Easy work there for Wortham.
His 2nd rushing touchdown of the season. Of course, his 2nd rushing touchdown of his career. And Max Cabena is going to hold for him. And Cabena going to add the extra point with ease as he drives it through. 1:30 left in the 3rd quarter. Westlake on the board as they lead Akins 59-0. Back in a moment. This is Texas High School football.
A lesson on what makes a burger mighty fine. Well, you got to start with a quarter or a half pound of daily ground all-natural Angus beef, and it's all about variety. You pick yellow, white, red, or heck, all of them. They've got options as wide as the Texas sky. Add some fresh-cut crinkle fries and a hand-dipped Bluebell milkshake, and that, my friends, is a lesson on being mighty fine. And that's mighty fine.
Covert Bastrop Spirit Cam. They've got spirit. Yes, they do. They've got spirit. How about you? The Westlake cheerleaders in business. No doubt. Mugging at some camera there, showing their spirit. I feel bad for the spirit squad. That's 59 push-ups for the boys today. That's going to be a lot. Nice and toned with those pecs and tries, boys. 59 push-ups after that M. Robinson Fine Jewelry's scoring drive for the Westlake Chaparrals. They're in after a solid punt return of 35 yards. They cap the drive in 3 plays. They go 13 yards, and of course the 4-yard rushing touchdown by Jake Wortham. Good return opportunity here. Best return of the night for the Akins Eagles out to the 23-yard line. Good return there by Brandon. Actually, I believe that was Caleb Walsh on the return. Nice job there. You see here, that is actually, no, he had it right the first time. That is number 9, and that is Brandon Guillen-Rostro for a return out to the 23. It's a 23-yard return as he got it right at the goal line. Vigil's going to come into the ball game here. Santi with the play. Walsh is going to be the wide receiver to his left. The deep man out to his left. Tovar rushing out to his right. Standard operating procedure out of the shotgun. Junior Carter trying to get to the edge. Moves the pile. Gets beyond the 20. Out to the 22-yard line. Good gain there. Or out to the 27-yard line. Excuse me. Good gain of 5 on the play for Junior Carter.
We talked about this on the last drive, Joe, but we've seen a pretty heavy rotation of players here on both sides of the ball. And then there's Junior Carter. And he just keeps getting the ball over and over. Akins just keeps handing it to him. 18 carries now. He's into positive yardage, though. He's got 2 yards on the ground as the Eagles have been able to move forward a little bit here in the second half.
They have the 1 first down to their credit. That was Junior Carter's 2-yard run that moved the chains. Now, after a 4-yard gain, it'll set up 2nd and 6 officially. 2 wide receivers to Vigil's right as they turn and hand it off to Junior Carter. Junior upended there right at the line of scrimmage, but still stays on his feet, drives his way towards his own sideline, and finally is ushered out of bounds there. Beautiful job by staying with the play, and that was Brian Zhang. Brian Zhang getting an opportunity to play. Kind of giving him an opportunity to get some reps. As we mentioned, Brian Zhang not in the starting lineup, but now able to get some repetitions. He's number 22 making himself known. So with that, that'll do it for the 3rd quarter of play.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter.
End of the 3rd quarter, your score, Westlake 59, Akins 0. Back in a moment for the 4th quarter. This is Texas High School football.
After an accident, every second matters. That's why getting help from Thomas J. Henry is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1, call us. 1 call puts our legal team in motion. Step 2, we come to you. Home, hospital, or wherever you are, we move fast to build your case. Step 3, we take over. From insurance battles to courtroom fights, we handle it all. So you can focus on recovering while we fight for the results you deserve. Easy as 1, 2, 3. Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Covert. At Covert Lincoln, we believe modern American luxury should extend beyond the showroom, right to your driveway. Our white glove service means effortless maintenance with complimentary pickup and delivery. And our state-of-the-art mobile service van comes to you wherever you are. From routine maintenance to minor repairs, we bring expert Lincoln care right to your doorstep. Because at Covert Lincoln, service isn't just convenient, it's seamless. Schedule today and experience the luxury of time well saved. CovertLincoln.com.
Thomas Henry High School Football Live. Joe Taylor alongside Ricky Doyle. Jim Knox down on the sideline. Our statistician Gene Jacobson. And of course, the 25 students of the Westlake Fine Arts Department. Westlake Technical Entertainment crew subbing in for the fine crew of KBVO TV. We slide into their normal spot. Little juggled snap here. And Asante Vigil's going to just live to fight another day on 3rd down and 5. He's going to lose yardage here as Bishop McKinney comes in and makes the play. Nice job there by Bishop to recognize that ball was not controlled, and he went immediately to the ball carrier.
Yeah, you can see some of the speed coming from the Westlake defense. How quickly they're able to close and force another punt here for Akins. And the punt game it's been interesting, Joe. There's been a snap over the head that actually came back because of a false start. There's been a block punt. There have been big returns for Westlake.
See big Colton McCullough lumber off the sideline there. Folks, I'm here to tell you, this is Akins' starting offense. For the most part, everybody's still making plays for the ones for Akins. We're deep into the roster here for the Chaps. Fair catch called for here by Sinclair. Jack's going to say, nope, that ball's humming. Too much hair on the line drive punt from a Ramirez. They're not going to even attempt to try to return this. And this is really just for operational procedure here as Westlake and this group wants to run some plays. They want to get some guys in. They want to rotate some guys, run the ball, and keep this clock moving as we begin the 4th quarter. Again, the high school Thomas J. Henry High School Football Live, powered by our friends at Ferguson Home, right there at the corner of 620 and 71, overlooking the Hill Country. Bath, kitchen, and lighting gallery, all from Ferguson Home, proud sponsors of Westlake Nation. 3 wide receivers tucked in, stacked on top of each other to the left of the quarterback, and it looks like we might have a new quarterback here. Looking to throw. No, Patton Jones is still in the ball game. Quick completion out to the far side. Good running room. And looks like 1st down yardage and more. Brogan Spencer getting an opportunity here for his catch. First one of the night. And Brogan Spencer's 2nd catch of his career this season, as it's good for a gain of 13 yards and a 1st down. Longest catch of his career right there is Brogan Spencer. Gets by a couple of tacklers there. 2 wide receivers to the right of the formation, 1 to the left, looking to turn and hand off. And Wortham stacked up almost immediately. Good play up front by the defensive end for the Akins Eagles. That is Jason Carrasco Rodriguez on the tackle, and it's a loss of 3 yards back to the 42-yard line.
Yeah, really nice job there, getting off his block and making the hit in the Westlake backfield.
2 wide receivers to the right of Patton Jones, and now looks like a whistle's going to blow. It might be a timeout called by Westlake. We'll see.
I think Tony Salazar wanted the play clock reset there, Joe. It was down to 1 second, and he was signaling that it didn't reset.
So with that, John Carter's going to come in here and tell us all about it. Please reset. We do have him mic'd up, but it looks like he's not. So now everything's good to go. Now they are winding the play clock back to 25 seconds, and now it's on the move. 2 wide receivers to the right of Patton Jones, 1 to his left. He'll check with me situation here with Wortham on his right. On 2nd down and 13. Turn to hand off to Wortham. Wortham again caught right at the line of scrimmage. Not much there. And how about the effort here from the Chaparrals on the offensive front? This defensive line now for Akins really stepping up, and they want to force another punt. Beautiful play here. Once again, it's Rodriguez kind of leading the charge along with Strobel.
Yeah, Akins still has a lot of the starters in there, but the credit is really that they're still playing this hard, Joe. I mean, the 59-0 game deep in the 4th quarter and still going hard and pushing the Westlake backup offensive line around.
They set up the screen to Wortham. Wortham knocked off his feet at the 41-yard line. It's a good throw, but once again, tossed aside are the Chaparrals on offense as they force another punt. As we get a look at some of the guys getting an opportunity here late in the ball game. Wade Priest in the ball game. Trying to see a couple of other gentlemen that might have an opportunity along the offensive front. Kyle Coulter in the ball game, senior offensive lineman. So now 4th down, and just the 2nd time the Chaparrals have been asked to punt. Nolan Bartley kind of hanging around his own 27-yard line. On the left hash, it'll be a deep snap. Good snap. Straight up punt, and it is blocked. That ball is loose. Nicely done. And Akins will pick it up and start with their best field position of the night. They'll do so on the Chaparral 23-yard line. What a play. And this looked like it was all Cruz Morales all the time. He just came straight up, fought off his blocker, came straight to it, and it looked like he was the one that was recovering it here, and it was just really traffic. Chris Herrard, the defensive tackle, is really the man that can be kind of charged with that block, as he just kind of took his man on a ride back to Nolan Bartley, and Bartley never slid to the right to try to get that punt away and had the ball fall at his feet. So a blocked punt, and now Akins just outside the Raising Cane's red zone at the Chaparral 23-yard line. Here's Junior Carter. Carter at the 20, inside the 18 before he's tackled out of bounds and driven that way out at the 17-yard line. Gang tackled there as Junior Carter, taking everybody with him.
You just know how badly Akins would love to cap this drive with a touchdown. And you're thinking, Joe, if you got a gadget play or some sort of trick play you love, now's the time to pull it out if you're Akins. You are at the 16-yard line with an opportunity to potentially put points on the board.
Emmerich Pepper was there. Colton McCullough also involved in kind of the jet wash there that caught up to Junior Carter after the gain of 7. Longest gain from scrimmage. Junior's going to get it again. Turns upfield, tripped up. He's close to a first down, but about a yard shy. Looks like that trip up was really what slowed his momentum, and it's going to set up 3rd and 1.
I say so much for the trick play. We'll just go back to Junior Carter again. Look at the big guy still running hard.
That's a nice job there up front by Eric Norton. He's the one that actually caused the trip up as he got underneath the legs of Junior Carter. So now 3rd down and 1. The ball inside the 15-yard line. Nose of the football grazing the 14. They run up as if it's going to be the brotherly shove. The tush push from the Akins Eagles. You got to practice that, and it looks like they're close to being a first down. They're going to wave the clock to stop with 6:25 left. And the clock is still moving here, but we'll see if they stopped him short or if they got enough of the push to move the chains. And it looks like it is just short, so it will be 4th and about half a yard. So 4th down here with the clock moving inside 6 minutes to play. Vigil's going to jog out of the field with the score. 59-0. They're going to pull out everything here for the Akins Eagles to try to keep this drive alive. And now a timeout's going to be called here, and it will be called by the Akins Eagles. We'll take it as well. Back in a moment. This is Texas High School football.
If you're thinking about a compact tractor and you want the best, you can afford a Kubota.
Check out the new Kubota L2502 package deal. A front loader, a rear mower, a box blade, and a trailer, all for one low price.
U-Haul Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
In a world where automotive excellence reigns supreme, one name stands above the rest: the Covert Auto Group. Since 1909, we have been the driving force in Central Texas, delivering unparalleled quality and service. With 11 locations, our vast inventory offers a thrilling range of new and pre-owned vehicles. But we aren't just about cars. We're about family and community. We're dedicated to providing outstanding customer satisfaction. The Covert Auto Group, 115 years of the Covert commitment.
If you're thinking about a compact tractor and you want the best, you can afford a Kubota.
Check out the new Kubota L2502 package deal. A front loader, a rear mower, a box blade, and a trailer, all for one low price.
U-Haul Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
They're quick to the line here at Thomas J. Henry High School Football Live. The toss and the ball is loose. It is loose, and it will be recovered on the sidelines by the Westlake Chaparrals. What a moment here. As Westlake again on the transfer, Akins had the play called. They went with a dive look and then pitched it out to the big man, Junior Carter. Here's the replay, and just losing control of it. Never really had it on the snap. And then a big, big play by Oliver Garcia. Oliver Garcia was our Chap of the Week 2 weeks ago. His halftime interview included a look at what he gets to do in the spring, which is play tennis. Well, he played tennis during the bye week and was involved in a team tennis win. And speaking being involved, look at this run here by Xavier Reeder. Reeder flipping the script on a long run from quarterback, his first run of the night, out to the 50-yard line. What a run by Xavier Reeder.
Thinking about Oliver Garcia, Joe, I mean, there are dual sport athletes at Westlake, but I can't imagine there's a ton of football tennis double up. That's interesting.
And speaking of tennis, shout out to Jeff Savage, the team tennis squad. I'll make this point after this for the Shaps, as it has to do with District 26-6A. 2 wide receivers each way, and I mentioned that it might have been an Xavier Reeder quarterback run. No, Jones is still the quarterback. That is Xavier Reeder, the running back, who gets back-to-back carries here and gains a yard to the 49-yard line. Thomas J. Henry High School Football Live. As Santiago Castillo makes the tackle, 2 wide receivers each way here. Getting in the ball game is Caleb Garner. He's a wide receiver to the left of the formation. Patton Jones and Xavier Reeder on the field at the same time. Folks, this is what it could look like with Reese Wise. And now the ball is loosed on the other end. Picking it up is Akins, and it's the big man, Chris Herrard. The defensive tackle again making a play. He was the reason for the blocked punt. Now he is the reason for a fumble recovery. Turnovers, 2 of them in this ball game. 1 on a blocked punt and the other on just a fumble on the exchange. And Herrard is there. A year ago, he went by John. Then he told his defensive coordinator, call me Chris. Well, Chris just made a huge play for Akins.
That's great to see. And then how about the effort, though? Patton Jones, the quarterback, going down to make the tackle on a large human right there. So
man, what a turn of events. You have a huge run by Xavier Reeder out of the running back spot, and then all of a sudden a fumble puts life back in the arm of the Akins Eagles with just over 4 minutes to play. Here's Junior Carter again, rumbling on the right side, picking up the first down inside the Raising Cane's red zone, down to the 16-yard line. What a run, what a night for Junior Carter.
He's going to sleep well tonight, Joe. There's no doubt about that, as he has carried a heavy load for the Eagles, who are once again knocking on the door with a chance to maybe get on the board.
With that, after an 11-yard run, longest play from scrimmage, again, Carter getting the call, doing the work, lowering the shoulder, bulldozing his way down to the 15-yard line. Good run there of 3 yards. And I'm going to go ahead and tell everybody this. You heard it here first. I'm not responsible for Junior Carter. I am not his parents. I'm not his uncle. I'm not his grandparents. But that dude gets a note. He doesn't have to go to school tomorrow. That's how much effort he has put in. You can give him his homework. He gets tomorrow off. He's got some ice. He's got some treatment coming, because he has played a heck of a tough football game for his Akins Eagles. And again, he gets the carry. This time he stumbles behind the line of scrimmage. Good pursuit there, and you're starting to see, look at his teammates get him up. That's when you know you've got some brothers in the locker room right there. They know how hard it has been. And that's a good play in the open field there by Bisher Batane.
As you can see out there, Junior Carter's hurting right now, Joe. Doubled over, just maybe winded, if nothing else, and sore, taking a lot of hits. I mean,
you come find me after the game. I'll sign it. Ricky will sign it. Gene will sign it. We'll all sign it. No school for that man tomorrow. So with that, 2nd down and 9. Looking to turn the corner. Junior Carter driving his way down to the 11-yard line before being driven backwards, and it's going to set up another short yardage situation here. And a decision. They're going to bring in Ramirez and try for, I believe, a field goal. At least that's what the logical step would be here. Ramirez not asked to kick a lot. He is 0 for 1 in just the 1 try, but it looks like we have a 2-minute timeout. We'll take it as well. 1:56 left in the ball game. It's Westlake 59, Akins 0. Back in a moment. This is Texas High School football.
Most people don't realize it, but your oral health plays a big role in your overall health and well-being. It's all connected.
And it's not just about avoiding cavities. What's happening in your mouth can affect the rest of your body, including your heart.
That's because gum disease can allow bacteria to creep into your bloodstream, which could lead to problems like heart and cardiovascular disease.
Fortunately, brushing, flossing, and regular dental visits can greatly lower those risks.
Think of your dentist as more than someone who cleans your teeth. They're looking out for your overall health.
And something as simple as brushing twice a day, it can make a big difference for your heart.
So don't skip it. Taking care of your teeth means taking care of yourself.
Because a healthy mouth isn't just about your smile, it's about your health and well-being.
These sponsors are valued community partners of KXAN Simple Health. Get healthy today.
We welcome you back. It'll be Ramirez from about 28 yards out. Good snap, good hold out of the 2-minute timeout. It's blocked. The field goal's blocked and off to the races, and it looks like a huge head of steam here, racing down the sidelines. What an effort here. What a memory for Freddie Tester. Freddie Tester is into the end zone for a touchdown on special teams. Freddie Tester on the field goal block takes it to the house. Touchdown, Westlake.
That's a way to make your first big impact play on varsity, Joe, for Freddie Tester. I mean, he saw that football, and you could see the wheels once he gathered it in. Nobody was bringing him down from behind.
What a job by Brady Jones. Brady Jones with the block, and Freddie Tester, new on the varsity as of a couple of weeks ago. Welcome to varsity football. Brady Jones and Freddie Tester. Xavier Reeder will hold this one for Cabena. Snap, good. Kick, good. 1:39 to play. And the Chaparrals lead Akins 66-0. We'll be right back. This is Texas high school football.
For over 30 years, Thomas J. Henry has been in the fight for those who have been injured in Texas. With over $1 billion delivered to our clients in the last 4 years and more than 13,000 five-star reviews, our dedication to life-changing results is clear. But don't just take our word for it. Hear from those who've experienced the difference. Thomas J. Henry. The name you know, the firm you trust.
Hi, I'm Jenny Covert at Covert Chevrolet in Bastrop, where down-home roots and neighborly service still mean something. At Covert Chevrolet, we're proud to stand by our commitment to you with exceptional service and honest deals and treating every customer like family. For over 116 years, the Covert family has proudly served Central Texas. And here in Bastrop, we're more than a dealership. We're your neighbors. Covert Chevrolet, Highway 71 in Bastrop, or online at covertbastrop.com. Together, let's drive.
Well, we welcome you back. Thursday Night Lights football, and of course, Thomas J. Henry High School Football Live, powered by our friends at the Steam Team, another proud Westlake owned and operated sponsor of Westlake Nation. And again, Freddie Tester on the block from Brady Jones, returning it for the touchdown. Just a beautiful job on the field goal block by Brady Jones and the return. If you remember a couple of years ago, one of our Shaps of the Week, another unsung senior hero, was Henry Tester. And if you remember from that conversation, as Cabena kicks this one off, make the point after Copeland, dances a bit, tries to get to the outside, and then kick return team brings him down right there at the 20-yard line. Good return there by Copeland. But you might remember that opportunity for Henry Tester to meet with us on our Shap of the Week. He said, you know, I'm really into airplanes. And so he's kind of fascinated by the world of flight and how airplanes work. Well, I'll tell you this, Freddie Tester learned how to fly, because that dude acted like he was shot out of an airplane. And what a job. I mean, just talk about knowledge of assignment. Guys that don't get to play very often, and all of a sudden, all that practice leads to that execution. Jones on the block. Two attack team guys getting it done late in the game with their opportunity. Beautiful story there at the end of this one for the Shaps.
Yeah, those are the moments that pop up within a game like this, Joe, when you start to get into the depth chart and you see guys making plays and memories they're going to remember a long time.
So with that, final 69 seconds here is Junior Carter brought down behind the line of scrimmage at the 19-yard line. Another fine play. As you can see, coming out of the bottom of the pile there is Paxton Braden.
I know we keep saying it, Joe, but it's just unbelievable. It's just every play is a handoff to Junior Carter. He's carried the ball 28 times now for Akins, and I think he's finally going to make his exit for the evening here with 44 seconds left, jogging over to the sideline. I mean, that man is wiped. There's nothing left.
That dude has all of our respect and then some, and it will not surprise me one bit if Tony Salazar himself comes over and congratulates him at the end of the day. This is one of those moments where you knew that he had a tough night ahead of him, and he kind of accepted that responsibility. As once again, the Chaparrals making a play behind the line of scrimmage. Good opportunity there to mix it up on the behind the line of scrimmage for Colton McCullough. We've called his name a couple of times. That time he gets in and that should pretty much wipe things out. But what a moment for the Westlake Chaparrals and all of their roster as they come out of the bye week into their first district matchup and walk away with a shutout victory. Ironically, their other shutout of the season in San Benito. The score, 66-0. They drop double sixes again here in their district opener, I should say, here on the road at Berger with a 66-0 win over Akins. Good stuff from Westlake and Akins tonight.
Yeah, I don't think you could draw it up much better if you're Tony Salazar, Joe. From what we could see, no injuries for the Chaparrals. A lot of guys got an opportunity to play. You went deep into the depth chart and by and large played pretty clean football. The execution was good, so this is what you're looking for, I think, coming out of the bye week.
Your Covert Auto Group drive of the game, winning drive of the game. Again, started early and often with Sebastian and Alt initiating the contact, making the opportunity available here to get down close, using the short field to their advantage. Again, into the sunset they go, and of course, Hinault finishing off the drive. That was the first scoring drive for the Westlake Chaparrals, and it was all Chaps tonight as we go down to the field.
Here we go.
As Jim Knox is now with Tony Salazar.
All right, Coach, you couldn't ask for a better start after the bye week. Just total domination both sides of the football.
Yeah, all three phases. Obviously, you know, a couple scores there, some big punt returns early in the football game. So, yeah, complete win, and we got some good things to watch tomorrow.
Yeah, and the nice thing about it, too, is that everybody got to play. It looked like emptied the bench.
Everybody got to play. What a great night for Westlake. We came and got accomplished what we needed to. We got a little better tonight and obviously got a win. So, we're healthy for a football team. We'll go learn from the mistakes and obviously learn from the good things we did tonight as well, and have a good weekend.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Coach. Joe.
Thank you very much. We welcome you back inside the Plains Capital broadcast booth. Joe Taylor alongside Ricky Doyle. Thanks to Jim Knox. 66-0 shutout win for Westlake. They go to 1-0 in district play, and they play in a week. Only 7 days between now and Austin High. Their district home opener right now, 4-1 Westlake, 4-2 for the Akins Eagles. Again, you kind of knew what was going to happen this Thursday night underneath the lights, Ricky, but all in all, a successful night of football for the Westlake Chaps.
I think so. I mean, it's the result we all expected coming into this game. We knew Westlake would probably win comfortably, but I thought they played a good football game. They'd had that week off after Steele. You never know if there's going to be rust. Are they going to be motivated for this game? And I think they answered all of those questions. We know, obviously, the road will get much more difficult from here, but a solid performance overall for Westlake.
No doubt. We give you the final highlights here, thanks to the Westlake Technical Entertainment crew. Toddy Too Hottie, Todd Bynum back in the truck for KBVO TV. And, of course, all of our friends at KXAN and KBVO making this one happen on live TV. Thanks so much for letting us guest star tonight underneath the lights of Thursday. We give you the final score here. Westlake 66, Akins 0. We lead you with highlights. So we say goodnight from Berger Stadium in Southwest Austin. For our good man Jim Knox and Ricky Doyle, I'm Joe Taylor. We say goodnight. Underneath the Thursday night lights, your final score, Westlake 66, Akins 0. This is Texas High School football.